Well, I've got Cody in the studio. Welcome here. What's up? You want to introduce yourself? Tell the people who you are a little bit.
Hello, people of the internet. My name's Cody.
That's it. He doesn't do anything. He's just a person. That's it.
Hold on. Which camera should I be looking at the most?
This one, probably.
That'll be my close-up face shot.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Hi, my name's Cody. I run Eppic Media. Started that a year and a half ago, 2 years, something like that. And things are going well. They're wildly successful, and I'm a multi-bajillionaire now, and I'm loving life. Every moment of business is fun and exciting, and it's pretty cool. I've got some pretty cool opportunities going on, and excited to grow and keep on moving.
Tell me a little bit about like what specifically you are focused on with Eppic Media.
Oh, that's a fun, loaded question. Lots of specifics involved there.
So are you focused on like filming movies? Probably not.
Not quite yet, but there's like a little bit in the back of my mind where it's like, could you use this in a movie? I feel like
you could.
If you have that in the back of your mind, that's what helps make your footage that much better. If you're like, what is this movie level quality, or is this just something in my phone that I'm filming? There's different value of media quality that you put into stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me the landscape. What from like little stuff to big stuff? What are you kind of focused on as a business? Like, what do you offer?
So main thing that I offer is that I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
That's where my best skill set lies, is being a photographer. I've had lots of photography go all over the world. I technically part of some world-class photography groups, so I get to call myself a world-class photographer. I'm like, whoa, I don't get paid for that title, but it's a cool one to flex.
Yeah.
So we do photo, we do video, and we do social media marketing, that kind of stuff, creating videos and whatnot for people that want to get their business out there, creating viral content, funny stuff. And then also how do I phrase it? Yeah, it's part of the business. I've edited videos for some big time YouTubers.
Okay.
And that's been a fun kind of space to explore also. It's like I've done YouTube for myself for a long time.
Yeah.
But never pushed like really, really hard into it. And then all of a sudden one of the biggest YouTubers, I'm editing videos for him. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it's like to put 80 hours into a YouTube video. Just editing, not filming, not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Just the editing. And you do that in a week, and you're like, holy moly, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's like, no wonder they need editors. Like,
it's a different game.
Yeah.
When it's all you do, you have to have the editing right. You have to have all the pieces of the puzzle just right.
Yeah, I'm learning that from the other side of things now, not just being an editor, but hiring editors, because the amount of workflow that I have going on now is like, I can't do all of this myself. Like, I need other people to just do some of the manpower of things. Like, it's wild how long things take, and like 15-second video, yeah, that takes a couple hours just to do some basic stuff on it.
Well, you need all the pan shots. You need them to sync up properly. You've got music backtrack you want to be going to.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many details.
Yeah.
People don't really think about 99% of it when you're watching, and you sit there for 15 seconds and you scroll past it.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else looked at that video and poured over it for hours.
Yep. That's as a content creator, one of the things that hurts the most is something that you put the most amount of time into gets like no views or no likes or anything, and you're just like, come on, this is my hardest work, but nobody does anything about it.
Nobody cares.
And then you have your one picture that you took on your phone of you taking a dump or whatever. I don't know if you want to put that in the podcast.
That's all good. So photography is like the main thing.
I don't know if I want to say that, because I don't want to limit myself to, I'm a photographer.
Right.
I see coming into this year, because this is a new business. So it's a year and a half in that I've been doing this full time. The dynamic of it is changing, because we're kind of finding the footing and solidifying, like, this is what we do. This is how Eppic Media can help your business do stuff. So it started out as doing pictures and that kind of stuff, but now it's kind of morphing a little bit more into, I'm going to create the whole marketing structure for your brand, develop a marketing style for it. Here's how your brand's going to look. And then all the media that encompasses that all gets tied in. So doing all the logos, that kind of stuff, the look of all of that, putting together the same style of videos, the same style of pictures, all that kind of stuff, kind of conglomerating it all together. So that's not just being a photographer. You kind of have an umbrella of You need the good pictures, but along with the good pictures when you're marketing stuff, you got to have the ad space, all that, how your ads look and all that kind of stuff. So developing.
So you're doing the content creation. So the brand, you'll have a brand guide where you're saying, okay, this is what we want to look like. This is how we want to appear to the customer. This is the consistent pieces. Hey, we've got this mood or we've got this look or feel.
Yep.
And then you're going out and doing all the content creation, whether that's photos, whether that's video, whether that's figuring out what the ads are going to look like.
Correct. But also one of the clients that I have right now is we're working on developing that brand guide. Still starting from zero, a company that starts from nothing.
Yeah.
Develop a brand guide. So it's not just, here's a bunch of guys taking pictures on their phone while they all look different. There's no consistency in anything.
Right.
So what is the brand going to look like? You look at a major, like Ford. All the Ford stuff looks the same. There's a guide in there. Everything is structured similarly and all that kind of stuff. And they might have, I don't know how many people. They probably have 100 different people working on stuff, maybe more.
Yeah.
But when you have 100 people working on things, then they all need guidelines.
Yes.
You got to work within guidelines.
And that's the really cool thing about looking at big brands, where you can take a piece of something they're doing and you can incorporate it into just about anything. If you look at like Nike's website, you scroll right to the bottom and you click on their media guide, you can actually see, they just tell you what they're doing.
They do, hey?
Yes.
I've never done that.
They do that. Tons and tons of brands do this.
Really?
They'll just have a brand guide. Because there's other people, there's third parties, there's vendors that are like, this is how you use our logo. This is the filters we use. This is the color we're looking for.
Yeah.
We want to be bright. We want to not be bright. We want
Okay.
They'll just set it out.
Yeah.
And you could take that. You could say, okay, I understand why they're doing this, and let's do this ourselves. Let's make it so that when someone sees a video that comes from our business or whatever business you're working with, they know it's from that business and it's not like ambiguous.
So, like from a business standpoint of things, why would Nike do that?
Because why would they not do it? You can look at all their posts and you can figure out what the brand guide is anyway.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're working with thousands of vendors who might be advertising that they work with Nike, or they might be advertising a video, or they might go to a Nike event and they might say, okay, sponsored by Nike. Well, if you say sponsored by Nike, you have to follow the Nike brand guide.
Okay. Yeah.
So they just make it public.
Yeah.
Go get it. Go find it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
I was just working with a real estate agent from this area, and they're based with Real Brokerage, which is out of it's kind of the online version of a brokerage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And same thing there. Go on their website, boom, all the brand guidelines. Here's our colors, here's our logos, download them. They're all just right there. Super handy.
Look at that. I learned something new, guys.
But yeah, no, so building out a brand guide, super important. And then you can actually take pictures and video and keep things in style, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what that looks like. If you build a brand guide for someone, how do you make all their videos look somewhat similar?
That all starts with a lot of meetings of what do you want this brand to look like? And a lot of those meetings, they feel like they're super long because you're figuring out like minute details and like what separates this video from this video. This is what this company does. How do we be on par with this company but make it our own? So there's just lots of little nuanced things in a video that change stuff that way. So you're going through everything that you create with a fine-tooth comb, and it's all right, we got to change this, we got to adjust this, we got to make sure this is in everything that we do, and there's it's lots of meetings of figuring that out, and what does the customer want? What's their end goal of what they want? How do we get you from here's zero to here's the end goal? All right, let's create everything in between and making the roadmap of how to get there.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's where I've had to work with other people. I'm not the guy that can write the script that says this is what we're doing. That's not my skill set. That's where I rely on other people that are way better at that than me.
Right.
And then from that's what creates structure. So then when I go out with my camera and all that stuff, I can make sure that I have things structured how they need to be so that they fall within the guidelines that we've created. Yeah. And then we make a product.
And so then you do like a shoot list or whatever the thing is based off of what your back end team is saying in terms of, hey, this is what we think it should look like.
Yeah. So when we set out to do a big, huge project, we got some big stuff happening right now. And that involves a team of people of here's going to be our shot list. Here's there's a whole board of like, we want these colors involved in this. Here's a bunch of shots that we want to get. This is the script that we're going to do for if we're going to have text on it, we're going to have this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If these are the words that we want to say in this commercial that we're shooting, okay, well, all the video that's behind that has to reflect what the words are saying. It's you're not going to have a clown running around and then you got someone like selling makeup products.
Yeah. This blush is really good for all skin tones, and you're showing not skin tones. That's weird.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, if you're going out and a client says, hey, I want to do some photo, I want to do some video, I want to highlight my brand. Mm-hmm. What is the steps to work with you? Is it, hey, let's have a discovery call? What's kind of the process you go through?
So the first thing would be, let's get on the phone. Let's talk. Let's see, like, what kind of person are you? Do I want to work with you? Is the very first thing. I select who I want to work with. I don't want to work with low quality people. There's a lot of people out there that they'll take you for whatever you got. That's something that I've learned in business is when you're starting out in business, you're just hungry for any money that comes in the door.
Yeah.
But if you just take every single thing that's there, you will get burnt. There's other people, they might not know how to do business and they're burning you inadvertently.
Yeah.
Or that's just how they've always done stuff and they will burn you because that's just what they're used to doing. And I consider that a low quality person. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work with those people. I want to work with good quality people. I want to work with nice people that'll treat me right. And then you have a symbiotic relationship there. You're both working towards the same goal and for the most part, everyone's happy.
The other, like we do a very similar thing. We try to figure out if it's a fit. The other thing is, not all brands need what we do.
100%.
And so sometimes it's not about, I don't like this person. It's just, actually, like we do a lot of paid advertising, right?
Yep.
Actually, you should just go to these trade shows.
Yep.
And actually, you just need to get in front of more customers. In terms of branding, we could do some branding for you, or if you want to do some paid advertising, we can do it, but we just know that's not your market. Mm-hmm. And so then we don't actually want to sell you the thing that you don't need.
Yeah.
We don't want to push you into spending a ton of money on something that's not going to get you return on investment. Yeah. So it's not always that you're an asshole. So if I turn you away, I don't think think you're an asshole necessarily, but sometimes it's just not a good fit.
100%. As a photographer, like when I started taking my photography more seriously and started buying serious equipment and all that kind of stuff, lots of people were asking me to do weddings. I am not a wedding photographer. I did one wedding and I'm like, you know what? This is not my jam. Like, I can make a lot of money doing weddings. People spend crazy amounts of money on weddings. I'm like, it's just not my thing. Like, I don't love it. So I work lots in the blue collar space. Yeah. That's my background. I've been in blue collar my whole world. I'm doing lots of stuff in power sports right now. Like that's high action, lots of fun. Cool. That's kind of the YouTube videos that I used to make. So like that's in my zone. Like I know where to put the camera. I know when I'm on site with the blue collar guys that are working, it's something very cool that I figured out pretty early on is you can't just, you could hire just any generic photographer, come take pictures of our business. But since I have a background in blue collar, I can get in there. I can talk the lingo with the guys. And I've had more than one guy be like, oh, I didn't know you were a photographer. I just thought you were another guy here.
Yeah. You were the new hire.
Yeah. I'm like, no, guys, I know what's going on. I can joke with them. And instantly I gain respect from them because they're expecting me to be some guy that comes from an office and doesn't know anything about a job site. And I know what I'm doing on there. And that all of a sudden allows, when you're filming people, that allows them to be way more comfortable instantly. And then that makes your videos and stuff on the back end feel way more natural. Guys are just authentic. They're just doing their thing. Authentic. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect word for that.
I was just talking to Matt last week and he was talking about how you can show a brand, and a brand is often actually the people. It's how 100%. The people, because if you come in, especially like service-based or construction or whatever, it's how did the people show up? How did they treat you? Mm-hmm. And when you're on a construction site, you turn on a camera and they scatter like cockroaches.
Yeah.
But if you can actually get in front of those people and you can connect with those people, construction guys are some of the best guys.
100%.
They're just there to work, get their hands dirty and do the work.
Oh, they're my homies, man. That's where I feel most comfortable also now is I'm going to hold the camera. Okay, I got this weird new tool on a construction site that people aren't used to. but now I'm making them comfortable in this. And then I get all my material and then show them the pictures afterwards. And it's like, whoa, this is awesome. And
well, and the other piece of it is when you can show them, hey, look at this sweet picture I just took of you. They're all of a sudden excited about like, oh yeah, that's what I do. What I do is cool. It's like a reminder that what you're doing is cool.
One of my marketing tactics that I've done now, and happy to put it out there. Anybody else doing it, you're welcome to take this one. In a construction world, every once in a while, the boss just buys everybody pizza on a Friday kind of thing. Like, here, thanks for working. My pitch has been, instead of spending money on pizza, buy your guys a badass photo shoot. That lasts way longer. These guys are putting all their pictures on Facebook and stuff, and then they get to show everyone of what they're proud of doing. They go to work every day. They work hard as balls. Like, give them a cool photo shoot, and like, here's the guys working. You get sparks and stuff flying, and like, it's cool. It's very cool. And guys are like, I get comments and stuff all the time from guys. They're like, dude, this is freaking awesome. They're so excited and so jacked. And then I'm excited, and there's this big circle of everyone going, oh, wow, this is awesome.
And for a construction guy, it's way better that than like on their social media profile than like the picture they took like 6 years ago at their buddy's wedding or whatever it was.
Yeah, because that's the last time they had a professional photographer take a picture of them.
Exactly.
It's like at a wedding. Yeah.
So what are you, right now, if you could say, hey, this is what I want to be spending my time on, what would you say it would be? Would it be photography? Would it be video? Brand building?
Probably building the infrastructure behind what Eppic Media can provide to other clients.
Oh, okay.
So I'm discovering that, okay, I'm good at being a photographer. Like, that's a skill set I've developed already. What's the next thing that I can do? I always want to be progressing and growing my skill set, being better at stuff. So I'm in business building mode right now. So I get really excited about, okay, I have all these pieces of the puzzle that I need to put together. Yeah. That one's there. Okay, photography, cool, I can take the pictures. What's the next thing to do? All right, I need a graphic designer to do stuff in Harrison with all of that. And then you start putting all the marketing pieces together. How do I build this company that can service the businesses and clients that I have? So that's what I'm most focused on right now is getting all the right things. I have all the work there. There's tons of work there. Now, getting a workflow system happening, I guess. It's
building the actual structure of the business. That's what you're focused on right now.
Being a business owner is so much more than just doing one thing and like, here, just make it run. Well, what's all involved in that? Figuring out the puzzles. And sometimes you have like, okay, we're going to try this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Yeah. So then you're going back a step. All right, we got to try something else. And then, okay, let's see if this one works. And then sometimes that works. Cool. It's kind of a one step forward, two step back. But
two step back. I try to take 2 steps forward.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Sorry. I got the words backwards. If we could do 2 steps forward, that'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Every time.
No, that's great. So when a customer comes in and they say, hey, I want to get something done, what is the value you're adding to other companies? Solosphere specifically is really focused on how do we add value to businesses and brands? What's the value you're bringing in with photography, or video? Like, what's the pitch?
It depends a little bit on the company.
Sure.
So because we're marketing mainly towards the blue collar world, that kind of thing, power sports now, my pitch there is I've been in that industry my entire life. So like I was saying before, when I show up to a job site, I'm not just a guy with a camera and I stick out like a sore thumb. Guys don't even know I'm a photographer. Yeah. And I'm holding the camera there, and you get a lot of content that you normally wouldn't get from the average Joe. That's what nowadays you can get cameras that are really tiny and you can put them all sorts of places. And then when that translates into video later on, people really like to see the fine, intricate details of what's going on, especially in a construction site. When you're driving past a construction site, you don't see what the tool is doing when it's actually doing that. You get these tiny little cameras everywhere now. Cool, I can put this like right beside where the tool is, and you can turn that into slow motion. That's the kind of stuff where you see that on your phone and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's okay. So that big tool, shrink that way down, zoom in like crazy. Yeah. Oh, that's what's going on there. So then you're training people what's actually happening. They just see a big piece of machinery there. Okay, hold on. This is what's actually happening at that. I can't see that when I'm driving past on the road. So creating that kind of stuff, that's educational. Will probably make it entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, we'll make it entertaining. That's the point
why
of media.
It goes somewhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so the value to the client, if you have entertaining content, how does that help the business that you're working with?
It depends kind of what your end goal is there.
Let's take a construction company that is, take an example that you've worked with, and let's just use a case study.
Okay, so a construction company is not looking to make viral content on Instagram so that they make money off of it. That's not their goal. They're not right. They're not Instagram influencers. But what I have found from, when did I start doing this? 2017, 2016 is when I started doing it for construction companies, just kind of on the side as I was working in construction company. Pitched to the boss at the start of it. It was like, will you pay me to do any social media marketing? He's like, no, I see no value in that. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to open Instagram on my phone. And what we ended up finding, I kind of did it anyways. I did it for free. I'm like, cool, I'm going to learn how to do this. I feel like a young kid. Let's figure this out. Yeah. And what ended up happening was we weren't making any sales from that. They're bidding on multi-million-dollar projects. The government's not looking at Instagram going, which construction company should we work with? But we started hiring guys that had seen us on Instagram. So the construction world, there's a serious deficit of workers coming up. The old guys are retiring. There's a huge age gap in there. So to get the attention of the young guys, look at this blue-collar job. Oh, you want to drive an excavator? Drive an excavator? All the construction guys will hit me for saying that. You operate one. You don't drive them.
Fair enough.
They don't have tires, so you don't drive it. So what we started to notice is we were hiring guys that had seen the company on Instagram. How do you know about us? Oh, I saw your reel on Instagram. It was really cool. And then that gets their mind thinking, and then they start looking at a bunch of other stuff. And it was kind of, the boss was like, oh, now I don't have to go find other people. Like,
they're coming to you.
They're coming to us, and people want to work with us. And then, now we have a selection of people that we can choose to hire. It's not, I'm desperate for anybody that's going to come work, and then they might not be a good employee, but I'll suck it up because there's no one else.
Yeah.
No. Now it's cool. There's 30 guys here. Which one's the best one? And then if you do hire one and it's not great, well, you don't have to go out look for another one. There's another one on the list.
There's 29 more.
Yeah.
That's a really, really valuable piece. There's a bunch of companies where, and I think about this all the time with marketing. There's two sides of marketing, really. Mm-hmm. It's, you can market your product, but you can also market your company.
100%.
So if you say, hey, my company is really good, all of a sudden on the working side, you have a better relationship. On the vendor side, on the employee side, on employee retention, you can actually build way more than just more sales with marketing and content and the way that you display your business. It just matters on more levels than just
100%.
How many sales am I making right now?
Yeah.
And you're seeing that in your side of the space, but you can also see that in really big companies. You look at companies like Amazon. Amazon has no issue hiring somebody, even though their workplace isn't the best workplace, because they have a brand of paying people very well.
Yeah.
And you look at a SpaceX, for example. SpaceX doesn't have a brand of paying people really well. They have a brand of having a purpose and a meaning, and everything you do is going to be purposeful and driving forward. And so that drives a different kind of client or worker or whatever. So branding your business also gives you different opportunities in terms of people, in terms of vendors. It's really a very important piece of branding.
100%.
Yeah. What's something interesting that you're learning and growing in right now in the business space?
On a personal level, I'd noticed, so last night I was training a new guy on how to do some editing stuff in Premiere Pro.
Yep.
And as I was doing that, I kind of realized that I actually know way more than I typically think that I do. So when I'm sitting at a computer and I'm editing for 80 hours on a video, then you almost kind of get sucked into this realm of, like, because you're working by yourself, or I'm working by myself when I'm editing an 80-hour video. No, that didn't.
80-hour video. When you're
spend
working
80 hours making a video. But because everybody works remote all the time, it's like, cool, we can have people all over the country that are working together on a project, but you're not in the room with them and all that. So you kind of get in your own head a little bit sometimes. And what I noticed yesterday, it was very cool. I'm training this other guy how to do some stuff, and I don't know, we were probably working together 3.5 hours. And during that time, I was just like, okay, I know how to do this really fast. I know how to do this really fast. I just know where this is within a program. I know these keyboard shortcuts. Cool, I can do this and this and this and this and this in about 1.5 minutes. And the guy that I was training, it took him half an hour to do that. Until we're on the same call, we're on the same screen here. Look at what I'm doing. And he's like, oh, wait, how did you do that? I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I just hit Control D, and that just, boom, that does everything, which he'd been doing manually for 10 minutes. And I'm like, cool, that took me 1 second.
Yeah.
And it's, so that kind of thing, I kind of forget that I've been making videos since high school. Like, I've been doing it for 20 years. And over that time, I've developed kind of the subconscious stuff that just helps me do things a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But when you're in the rat race of, oh, I got to make the best video, I got to be the guy at the top, there's all these other guys that are making way cooler stuff than I am, like, how do I get to be like them? Then you start to kind of almost feel a little like I'm less than everybody else because you're forgetting that, oh, you know what, I've actually done this. There's other people that don't know how to do anything. And so that was a pretty cool realization that I had yesterday. I was like, oh, you know what, there is actually some value in what I do because I've done it. I know how to do all these things. Let me teach other people how to be more efficient.
Yeah. Well, and it's a I've done it 1,000 times thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So if you've done anything you do 1,000 times, you're going to be good at doing that thing. Yeah. And you're going to remember how to do it. It's going to be second nature. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to make a campaign, it's like, cool. I know exactly what I need. I know exactly this stuff. Hey, you want to put it on Facebook? You want to put it on Google? You want to put it on anywhere? I actually know way more information than I even think I know.
100%.
I know the aspect ratios. I know the time length. I know the targeting.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how much retention I have on what you can target on what platforms.
Yep.
Just because I've done it 100 times.
Yep.
Like whatever that niche thing is, I've done that thing probably 100 times, if not 1,000. Oh. And so it's exactly the same thing as what you were saying. It's the little stuff you don't really think about. Someone else might take 4 hours to make that campaign, and it might only take me 20 minutes.
Yeah. And that's the fun part of business and growing a business is you're finding all those key characters. This guy knows how to do this. He's been doing it for a while. Okay, this guy can do this, and then this guy can do this. And then, like, that's what I get excited about is, like, you start building stuff, and you're like, oh, cool, I found that piece. I found that guy. Right on. Let's get this guy involved. And
yeah. That's the not fun part in training newbies, though. It's realizing the difference. Oh, it takes me 20 minutes to do this. It's going to take this guy an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a piece there where hiring someone who has skill already is so valuable, or a freelancer who knows exactly what they're doing. They can show up on site. They've done this so many times. Yeah. Sometimes that's better than hiring somebody.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that translates also when I'm working with other brands. They're just like, oh, can't you just go hire a 15-year-old kid to do this? It's pushing some buttons on a computer. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You get what you pay for. Yep. And that's that. I've had that conversation with a few different businesses, and you're welcome to go try that. Sure. I'm providing a much higher elevated product than what a 15-year-old kid will produce for you. Yeah. I want to create for you the best of the best. That's the target zone for me is we're making top tier A grade quality. How do we get there? Sometimes you could have a 15-year-old kid, sure, but you got to vet them. You got to do a lot of stuff to get
How much video has that 15-year-old kid done? If it's a lot, could be great.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
I think one of the really funny things is when someone comes in with a budget that's for a 15-year-old kid.
Yes.
And they want the amazing product.
Yep.
They're like, oh, can't you do this for this price? And it's like, well, no. So what I do is stuff I can be proud of.
Yeah.
Stuff I know will deliver this on the service.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, like, that's another part of, do I take this customer?
100%.
Do you have the budget so that we can do something awesome?
Yep.
If you have the budget so we can do something that I'm not going to be happy putting out, hey, let's wait until you have a bigger budget.
Yeah, I've had that conversation with businesses too. And it's just, a good example actually is people ask me very often to do family photos. Okay, there's a million family photographers out there. You got a lot of A lot of moms that are at home that need something to do, they buy a camera. Great, they can take family pictures, but they offer it for pennies on the dollar of what I as a business need to make. So people see my world-class photography and they're like, oh, great, you take awesome pictures. I want awesome family photos. Okay, that comes with the price.
Yeah, awesome family photos is not your cousin's family photos.
Yep. Yeah. So I run into that quite often where I'm at a certain point where if I'm going to do your family photos for X amount of dollars, I'm just going to do it for free because you're a friend and I like you. Like, I'm donating this to you because I know that you're not paying me anywhere near what I make as a business over here. Because I work with businesses, not with individual people, and it's knowing your customer, where your market is.
And at a business level, if you do it right, giving it away is better because you can write it off.
Yeah, you can write it off, and you're almost just developing a relationship with a person there too. You give someone something for free that's of value. Well, that goes a long way in the business world too. Business world is all word of mouth, right? You give somebody something here, cool. They're going to tell everybody, look at this amazing stuff. They're proud of what you did for them. That goes a long way. And to speak to that, the proof of that, I guess you could say, my first year in business of this business, I've done multiple businesses before. What I've learned from that is the more you give, the more you get.
Yep.
So first year of business, I'm making almost no money, basically giving away more money than what I make in terms of doing photo shoots, doing video stuff, going to places. Here, I'm going to give you this. It adds to my portfolio. And doing that, I take a big hit right on the front end of things, but it skyrockets me to the top real quick. So good example of this, one of the ways that I work for, a good way of explaining that is one of these big YouTubers that I work for. The first video I gave him 86 hours of video editing for free. Who's giving away 80 hours of work for free? Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, but that got me in the door. Okay, now we're doing more videos. Cool, great. So giving my 80 hours then got me, let's say 300 hours. Okay, a little bit of sacrifice at the beginning, pushed real hard, but that skyrocketed me past, I don't know how many other people applied for that job. There could have been 300 people that were doing it.
Yeah.
Are they giving that value away for free and just hoping that that was not the right sense? Where's it come around?
Well, the big thing is someone else willing to sacrifice that much, put that much in ahead of time?
Yeah.
And I think this is a big thing in terms of just how do you help another business? How do you show another business that you're like sincere in some sense?
Yep.
You have to add value in some way.
Yep.
So whether that's information you're giving them or time or just straight up a product like photo or video, like that actually just invests in that person as a client long term.
100%. I've had business meetings that start in my hot tub in my backyard, and it's like someone's asking me something, and I'm like, and you kind of vet people a little bit. You can go check out their Facebook and their Instagram and be like, all right, what is this guy like? Can I connect with this guy on an emotional level, and we can have a friendship, and then we go into business from that?
Yeah.
Let's try that. So we'll sit in my hot tub. Here's a couple beers. Let's have a conversation. Can we be friends? If we can be friends, that's going to be a way better working relationship. I'm going to come to a photo shoot. I'm going to come do video stuff. We're laughing the moment that I walk in the door. Boom, everybody's relaxed. Okay, this is a great work environment. It's not bam, 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 bam. Like, yes, there is that. There's structure there, but we're all relaxed. We're having a good time. We know that we're comfortable around each other, and that's...
I think business meetings in a hot tub is an exclusive blue collar
Maybe.
situation.
It's very possible.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that happening in the white collar world.
Well, I don't know. Bezos probably does it.
Bezos?
I mean, it's come sit on my yacht.
It's a yacht situation. I think that's a different
maybe,
game.
Yeah. Bezos, I'll come on your yacht.
Yeah. Your hot tub and his yacht are two different things.
Very much
Last
so.
time I checked. Yeah. No, it's good. So if you had one thing you could tell the audience or my audience and say, hey, this is something that is really valuable you can do to start off in photo video and in social media marketing to get started, what would be that thing?
To get started, I guess it depends a little bit on what avenue are you wanting to go. So everybody has a phone in their pocket. A phone, amazing cameras on phones. Lots of this YouTube stuff that I do, I was surprised when I started doing that. They film everything on iPhones. I was like, you have 8 million subscribers and most of your content is filmed on a phone. That's wild. I would have expected you guys that like everyone's walking around with $5,000 camera rigs. No, phone is good enough. And then when you get into editing, you're like, oh, sure enough, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So lots of skill can be learned just from holding a phone, framing a picture the right way, framing the video the right way. Not everything has to be cinematic. That's something that I learn and struggle with often is like, I want to make the best stuff. I want to make everything a movie all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not in a movie setting right now, so a phone video will work good enough. You can make a phone video look bad. You can make a phone video look big. So if you're just starting out, try and frame stuff the best way. Rule of thirds goes a long way. It's very good. Lighting. You can hire just lighting engineers for stuff. Like that's a full-time job. I'm like, that's something I learned when I started a media company is like, you can hire a sound guy. You can hire a light guy. Like, I didn't think of that. I just, hit record. If you have a microphone, your audio's better.
Yeah.
No. Where you put the microphone matters. Okay, you don't need to know that right when you're starting, but as you get into deeper stuff, you're like, oh, there's specific niches in all of this stuff where you can hone your skills. So as you're starting, just pull out your phone, start doing that. If you love doing that, then you just one step at a time, just add things. Yeah, all you got to do is start.
Yeah, just do things.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard that a million times. That's almost second nature to me is you just got to start. I've had wild opportunities because I just said, yeah, sure, I'll try that.
Exactly.
And what do you know? Like, you don't know if you don't try, right?
I got into marketing off of I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, here I am.
Yeah. Oh, now this is my career.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's something worth noting is that if you want to do something, give it a shot. And especially when it comes to video and content, everyone has the phone. Take the phone out. Just start doing something.
Yeah, you already have all the tools that you need.
Yeah.
You can edit stuff super easy.
You start with the phone editor or Instagram or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. It's pretty interestingly, my nieces and nephews now, like they're starting to get 10, 11. Like, okay, they've played with my phone and they take pictures and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, how about we just start teaching them how to
take good pictures?
How do you make videos? Because they're taking the dumbest, stupidest, boring videos that nobody wants to watch. But now I've introduced them, okay, here's some software. Here's how you can put all these clips together. Oh, you can add music to it. Oh, you can add stickers on it. And like, they're having the time of their life. They have something to do. Like, cool, here's a video game that we're actually developing skills now that you could be a video creator, a content creator, which is a valuable thing in today's world.
Yeah, today's economy, it matters.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I think we could call it there.
Right on, man.
Thanks for coming down. Appreciate it. And stay tuned for more, everybody.
Bye.